In today's video, I want to talk to you about why it's more important than ever that you have your own e-commerce store set up and that you're not relying on other platforms like Amazon or Etsy. My name is Tracy Reuter, and I am the CEO and founder of Divine Social. We are a social media advertising agency specializing in Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Snapchat. So let's talk about what's happened in our world in the last little while here with the coronavirus and COVID-19. And we've seen just unbelievable, unprecedented things happening in the world. And as an agency, the majority of our clients, thank goodness, have been in fairly decent shape. Not to say that it hasn't been stressful for them, because it has been, but most of our clients in many ways were prepared for this because they had their own store set up, whether they were info coaches, consultants, info product providers, where they had sales funnels and offers that they could sell online already, or they were e-commerce businesses that had a lot of diversification. Now, in the past, we've worked with a lot of clients that have either been very big Etsy sellers or they have been very big Amazon sellers. And there's always been this underlying concern that those clients had shared with us that if something went wrong, the reason they really wanted to bring us in to help them was because if something went wrong with Etsy or something went wrong with Amazon, all their eggs were in that one basket. And to be quite frank, that's part of why our agency took on Pinterest and Snapchat, because all of our eggs were in Mark Zuckerberg's basket. And I think from just pure wisdom is you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Now, the other area that we've seen, especially with the coronavirus and all the things that have happened in the last little while here now, is even businesses that were brick and mortar retail only that weren't prepared to be able to sell online. And those are the people that were massively impacted. As a matter of fact, our biggest client, I think, gosh, just in this month alone, in the last 3 weeks, they've done almost $5 million in online sales. That's only one little tiny piece of their overall business. They do a lot of business in brick and mortar retailers, and they've had to pivot. They've had to pivot through all of this to really focus on their e-commerce platform because they couldn't sell through brick and mortar retailers. So it's just really brought to the surface something that we've kind of known as an agency for a while now, that there is a huge benefit in having diversification in how you sell your products and services. So it's very, very important. If you, let's say you're an Etsy store seller. In fact, we have a client. That's been on Etsy for a long time and has done multiple seven figures in multiple stores on Etsy. Well, last year, they released a new product, and what they were not expecting is they were not expecting the demand. And of course, this demand happened right around Black Friday, right around the holidays, and they got absolutely slammed. Their delivery times went into the toilet. They just couldn't keep up. Now, there could have been some things that the client could have done to mitigate that. And yes, there are other ways that it could have been handled, but they were so in the weeds from all of the orders that they were getting that they started getting really bad customer feedback scores. Well, with Etsy, if you're an Etsy seller, you know Etsy has a very low tolerance, which they should, right? You want to have really good customer experience. Well, this client got so many bad responses so fast because of delivery that Etsy shut them out without any warning, and they went overnight and lost multiple seven figures from multiple stores. And so that was a really, really hard pill to swallow. And I know that customer, that client of ours, has had to reevaluate their business model. They've had to reevaluate how they communicate with their customers, how they provide customer service, but they've also had to reevaluate how they sell and how they do business. Okay, we've had the same thing happen with Amazon. And the one thing that we saw during the coronavirus, during this whole time, is that quite naturally and for good reason, Amazon had to shift who got priority, right? So it was essential items that got priority, and a lot of the businesses that all of their business was tied to Amazon's direct fulfillment got cut. Got absolutely cut, and they had no other way of selling. They didn't own the customer lists. They didn't have the people they could go back and continue to work with. The products just became unavailable because it had to be. Now, if the Etsy sellers and the Amazon sellers and even the brick and mortar stores, the independent retailers that suddenly couldn't couldn't open their shop anymore. Because unfortunately, Amazon stayed in business and Walmart stayed in business, but it was the little stores. It was the little mom and pop shops. It was the little businesses, the small businesses that our world is really built on that got hurt through all of this. And if there was a solid e-commerce strategy in place, with a machine to run traffic behind it, then I think we would have seen a lot fewer businesses be impacted than the sheer numbers that we did. And I understand hindsight is 2020, but it was really something that we saw. I'm not going to say we saw this coming. We did not see this coming. Obviously, who could have seen this coming? But we knew, gosh, for probably the last 2 or 3 years, that there was an issue. Specifically, the place we've seen it the most as an agency is with Amazon specifically, where because Amazon makes it so easy for you as a seller to do business through them, that it was simple to just really not build out your e-commerce platform because you didn't have to. And sadly, for a lot of people really got caught because they didn't do that. And so I just think it's really, really important. And I want to encourage you, whether you're an Etsy seller or you are a traditional independent retailer, or maybe you sell on Amazon, that it's important for you to take some time and to maybe look into starting your own e-commerce platform. We highly recommend Shopify. It's the easiest to work with from a marketing standpoint, which is really what matters more than anything. There's other platforms that are out there, but the whole point of having an e-commerce platform is so that you can market your business and sell. And so that's why we highly recommend Shopify. I would strongly encourage you to look at having a plan. If you don't currently have a plan, if you sell on Etsy, if you sell on Amazon, and you don't have a plan to have your own store, then I would highly, highly encourage you to do that. And if that is you and you don't know where to begin or you don't know what to do, then I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. You can go to divinesocial.com/NLF, fill out a little form, get on my calendar. I'd be happy to have a conversation. But I just think that it's so simple in 2020 and beyond. It's so simple to set up an e-commerce store. It's such an easy thing to have running, even if you run it at a very low percentage of your focus. It's still good to have that so that you can start building and scaling that in the background and ensure that if something like this were to ever happen again, whether it be Etsy, with customer experience scores, or it's Amazon not doing certain aspects of their business because the products aren't essential, or you're a brick and mortar retail business and you might be faced with a situation where you can't get physically in front of your customers. What do you do? And so I want to stress that this is the clients of ours that had solid e-commerce strategies, solid digital strategies, have completely thrived through this situation. Most of them have thrived. Some have survived, right? Some have survived, some have thrived. And I think that's been just a very eye-opening thing that we want to just share and encourage as many people as possible. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and a little bell next to it will give you a notification every time we go live with future videos. And we have tons of videos that you can go back if this is your first time here and consume and learn about how to use social ads to grow and scale your business. So with that, my name is Tracy Reuter. The best is yet to come, and we'll see you next time.